Hey, Plattman here. So I want to do a follow-up on the White Bear Black Mirror episode. I felt like I went kind of soft on it, and it was also kind of weird. So this is a spoiler. This is a review filled with spoilers, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Simply put, here we go. Simply put, what an effed episode. I don't like this episode. Like, on the grand scheme of the Black Mirror show, it's kind of my less favorite ones. It kind of goes in the trash bin. There's a couple problems with it. The fundamental issue is, okay, if somebody did a heinous crime or was adjacent to a heinous crime, what level of depravity should they suffer for that, right? And in my opinion, you kind of get into this two-part thing, which is there's the crime, and the person who did the crime, that's bad, right? Whether they did the crime or adjacent. And obviously there's shades of adjacent. Like, if you witness a bank robbery, which I use often in examples, and you don't report it, like, well, it doesn't make you a horrible person. It doesn't mean you should go to jail. It just means that's bad. That's bad form. Like, that's not good. Okay, so separate from that, you get into more intense stuff on the gray scale. Like, where you're more involved, you're the driver, you didn't rob the bank, but you did drive the criminals, like, you knew. So, like, effectively, if you're the driver of the bank robbers, you're getting a cut of said bank robbery, like, or even if you don't get a cut and you just get paid like an Uber fee, like, yeah, you're complicit in what's going on. You could have driven them to a police station. Excuse me. So when you look at White Bear, the episode, what they say she did was atrocious and horrible. What's annoying is that we're missing context and details. Is there proof that she did what she did? And do we know that what happened? I don't know. The thing does describe it. So we have to assume that she knew what was going on. That being the case, effectively what the rest of the show entails is a form of torture. And to make it worse, it's torture for public entertainment, which is fascinating to me. This is a BBC show, and whatever, aside from all that, but kind of because of all that, it's like this weird entertainment thing where it's like, this person did a bad thing, we're going to be entertained by it, we're going to have other people entertained by it, we're going to make a whole show of it. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Gamer. I'll probably watch it again and make a review about it. I love that movie. But that's effectively kind of what that point of that was, is like, we're going to make entertainment and money off of this horrible thing. And here's how I look at it. It's like, there's one positive in the sense of, it's so bad, it like super penalizes people for doing horrendous things, right? That's one element. And then the other element is that it also tells people, like, look, if you do something like this, this is the kind of crap that's going to happen to you. So it acts as a deterrent in that way. So it makes money and is a deterrent. Okay, taking that aside, because that's kind of the government precision. Aside from that, there's this other thing of like, okay, I commit a horrible crime that's so horrendous that society thinks that torture is an option and should be done. Because effectively, there's no two ways about it. What they're doing to her is torture, okay? I personally don't think that's justified. I'm not saying torture isn't justified. I'm saying If you've decided as a society, based on the facts, because I live in America, that this person committed this crime and it's so heinous that they will forever be removed from society. Can never, there's no take backsies, there's nothing they could do. I don't care. Remove them from society. Okay, then just remove them from society. Like, I don't understand this concept of like, oh yeah, but we're gonna like force them to do this and this and this. I'm like, no, you've already decided that they can't be ever, they can never, there's nothing that they can do that can be included back in society. So it's actually your job to remove them from society. Like, you've already made the decision that they can't be part of society. So why are you like holding up on this weird spot of, yeah, but you know, and we have this in America, and it's not in White Bear, the episode, but we have this in America where it's like somebody is on death row, and depending on the state, they'll be there forever, like forever, in perpetuity. And I'm like, cool. So we're feeding and housing and clothing and taking care of this individual, and the expense of that is not nothing. It's a lot, actually a lot of money if you look at how much money gets spent per prisoner per year. It's a lot of money to have them removed from society. But the problem is like, but we've already decided that they need to be permanently removed from society. What they've done is so atrocious, they need to be removed from society. So I don't understand why we're not just removing them. And we're just spending an inordinate amount of money. And that doesn't even include, and as a separate point, like, we're in America, we're like, oh yeah, we'll spend like $30,000 to lethally inject someone. And I'm like, why are we doing that? I don't understand. Like, just hang him from a rope or shoot him. Like, why are we spending $30,000 to do this with the idea of it being like ethical? And my thing is like, no, I'm sure there's a lot of people in the world, in your country, who would be like, yeah, I will happily do that. I'll happily sleep at night knowing that I killed a person and removed them, whatever. Have the victims of his crimes be push the button. If you know for a fact that he did it, or she did it, sorry, it's mostly he's. So this concept of like, oh no, and I listen to a guy who's like, no, that's not okay, blah blah blah, and I'm like, it's comfortable to live in a society where like you think it's okay to just pay extra money for criminals to just live out the rest of their lives. And then what happens if things go south or sideways and suddenly the jail's open and those people that you've been paying to just live, they have a lifetime of criminalness and they don't give a crap about society, and effectively things go sideways a little bit and now they're free in the world. No, every other successful society has been like, you've committed a crime, here's the penalty. You stole something, you lose a hand. You rape someone, you lose your penis. Like, it's just pretty straightforward. And I don't know why in this, I understand, we're in like a hyper affluent society, so we're like, oh, feelings, and that's what's going on. Anyhow, that's my opinion. In short, I don't like what's happening with White Bear. I think what they did in the show is torture and not okay. If you think, and you did all the research, and you're like, no, she did this, then just kill her. Just kill her. Because it's not okay to just torture someone. I don't care about the entertainment value. Because frankly, and here's realistically what happens, is this whole entertainment setup that they set up in the show really detrimentally affects the populace of the society. Not just the people who go there, but all the other people who are going to watch clips and other things like that. It negatively impacts them because it kind of depletes and deflates the perspective on the value of human life. And while it might have somewhat of a positive effect, like criminals will be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Really, criminals are always going to criminal. It doesn't really matter. But you deflating the moral code of your populace and them thinking of it as some sort of entertainment doesn't really work. Anyways, Plebman out. Love you.